All right, welcome to the S.O.S. Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight, or as we now call ourselves, Operation Startup. And remember, don't drown in the seal transition. Grab the Vet S.O.S. Lifeline. On today's guest is a veteran entrepreneur and technology leader who is helping organizations navigate one of the biggest shifts in the business today: artificial intelligence. We love it. She began her career serving 20 years in the United States Air Force, where she led logistics and IT operations, managing complex technology programs while learning that every successful mission starts with people, trust, and leadership. After retiring from the military, she joined the Worldwide Technology, serving on the senior leadership team for a 400-person engineering and delivery organization supporting Fortune 500 companies all across the globe. There, she built and led a team of more than 100 delivery leaders and product managers, gaining firsthand experience that successful technology adoption is just as much about people and processes as it is about technology itself. Today, she's the founder of McLean Forrester, a woman owned and veteran owned firm that helps organizations move beyond the hype of AI by developing practical strategies and implementing solutions that deliver real business results. Her focus isn't on selling artificial intelligence, it's on helping leaders understand it, make informed decisions, and implement it with confidence. So please join me in welcoming our guest, to the Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight podcast, Heather McLean. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. How are you? Thanks for having
Doing
me.
wonderful, wonderful. So, um, you've had an amazing career and have even an amazing career after the military. So let's go back in time and go back in the time capsule and talk to me about when it was that time after 20 years of military and you were making a decision to decide to move forward with the next chapter of your life. I want to know what were the three of the biggest lessons that you learned from that transition, and then how they shape who you are today.
Good question. Well, I didn't do all 20 active duty. I did 15 years active duty, and then I decided to transition to the reserves for my
Okay.
last 5 years. So then I was sort of doing both for a while, and
Okay.
that was its own challenge.
Got you.
The three biggest lessons, I think the leadership that we learned and the training that we got in the military was invaluable. That to me was one of the biggest things that I learned. It's just that corporate America does not do well at training their people. They
Mm,
don't normally have the well-developed leadership programs that we experience in the military, where at each step of my career, you'd be in for a couple years, you'd go to a training. You'd be in for a couple more years, you'd go to the next training. And that training prepared you for each phase and the responsibilities that you're going to have to take on at that point. And there's just nothing comparable in the civilian world. So
mhm.
that was a sort of a hard lesson to learn and a disappointing lesson to learn that like we're not training leaders like we should be in corporate America. Another lesson I learned was, when you're in the military, there's a lot of people who are like-minded. We all have the
Mhm.
same mission, right?
Mhm.
And we are all working towards the same goal. And I think we take that for granted because it's
Yeah.
it's necessary for the type of work we do, right? But
Mhm.
when you're in the civilian world and you're transitioning, I think you have to sort of realize that that is not going to be the same experience, that you're going to encounter people who have all different sorts of not just diversity, but different values, different goals, different, where you might not always be working towards the same mission. They might have a different thing that they're trying to accomplish that is maybe not aligned with yours. So you have to really be able to work with lots of different peoples and lots of different goals and try to get them all working in the direction that you need them to get to, to satisfy your organizational goals. So that's another kind of hard lesson you have to learn. And I think another lesson that maybe it wasn't learned but was reinforced for me is just, and I like to say this, that like leadership is just lonely. Like when you're in charge, you're alone. And this is the same whether you're in the military or in corporate America or any other job, right? Because you are no longer buddies with the people that you're leading. You are their leader, you are setting the example. And so that actually doesn't change no matter whether you're in the military or the corporate world. So it kind of reinforced that, yeah, it can be lonely at the top, and you have to build a really good peer group to help you have, someone to bounce those ideas off of and someone to check you on your thinking when you can't necessarily go to all the people that are in your group under you.
Got you. So now you mentioned corporate America and you talked a little bit more about corporate America. So now did you get after the military, did you get into corporate America, then go entrepreneur, or what was kind of going
Yes.
on? Okay.
Yeah, so I transitioned, worked for Worldwide Technology for 11 years.
Okay.
That was an amazing experience. So I started as a project manager, managing software projects, worked my way up to a senior director, running a huge engineering organization, and we were building amazing technology solutions for clients you would know. But you know what? I got a little burnt out on that. 11 years, same company, definitely lots of different jobs and increased responsibility along the way, but just corporate life is, really tough.
Yeah.
And I just got to a point where I didn't feel like as a person I was learning and growing anymore. And I wanted to do something different. So I kind of reached that point. I decided to leave. I didn't have anything planned. I didn't have a job lined up. I just kind of took the leap and did a little job hunting, but I had started my business a couple months before
Okay.
with the thought that maybe I would grow this. And then we decided to just go ahead and take that one leap further and go ahead and dig in and try to do McLean Forrester full time. And that was 3 years ago. So it was a little bit of a journey to get there, but I would not have been able to run this company without what I learned in the military and then
Uh-huh.
also corporate America. So I felt like I had all the tools in my tool belt to be able to do this job well.
Got you. Now, that's a big leap of faith for a lot of people to take that jump to where you don't have anything lined up. You just say,
Yeah.
okay, hey, I'm gonna go look for a new job. What was kind of going on in your life at the time, I would say, that made you just say, hey, you know what? It's either now or never, and I'm gonna go
Yeah.
for it.
I think fortunate to have a spouse, my husband, who was working. So we had some
Hmm.
income. We had
Okay.
some transition money saved up. So truly, like, we couldn't have probably done it without those conditions.
Hmm.
And then I was sort of in this transition phase where I was job hunting, but I was also thinking, maybe we can start this business. And we ended up winning a contract, a little small city contract that we bid on to do an IT strategy for them.
Okay.
And once we won that, we knew that, okay, this can be viable. We can make a go of this, and then just kind of full speed ahead on trying to, make that work. So it was a little bit of luck. I do believe things happen for a reason. So I think it was kind of led to this, kind of led to that spot where I was ready to do it.
Got you. So now that you're in the thick of it, for you, what's been the most rewarding part, or what's the thing that kind of lights you up every day you get a chance to run your
Yeah.
business?
I built the company because I wanted to prove that you could prioritize people and clients and still be
Hmm.
successful. And so I think the thing that really keeps me going is just that we're able to do that we're really able to give our people an amazing experience as employees through not only things like benefits, but just how we treat each other. Like, it's
Uh-huh.
foundational that we're going to treat each other with respect, and we're going to care, and we're going to do things in their best interest. So being able to do that every day when a lot of companies don't make those choices, I think is amazing. And then just having the freedom of being an entrepreneur. And, like this morning, I decided I was going to go spend the morning with my daughter because it's her birthday. You know what? I'm the boss. I get to,
Yeah.
I get to go do that. And that is an amazing motivator. But I also want to make my experience for my employees similar in that if they say, hey, I want to go do this thing, yeah, you've got plenty of PTO and I want you to use it. So go do that thing so that they can have fulfilling lives and spend time doing the things that they want to do outside of work.
Got you. Got you. Now, we know as entrepreneurs, me, myself, you, and all those others listening out there, it's not always easy when you first start out being an entrepreneur. You're burning two candles at both ends. Um, And we know it's not always sunshine and rainbows. So for you, what's been the hardest or most frustrating part of your journey, and how'd you deal with that?
I think probably the hardest is just not knowing what to do sometimes.
Okay.
And then having all that responsibility sit on me. And yes, I have business partners, I have other people helping me lead. But at the end of the day, I feel that that is the responsibility that I have to bear. And that is probably the single most stressful thing, knowing that other people's lives are depending upon me. Maybe not in a way you are in the military, but
Hmm.
their livelihoods depend on us being successful. So I think just the weight of that has been the hardest thing to deal with, and trying to figure everything out from scratch, right? I'm sure there's books. I've read some books, but at the end of the day, like, you have to figure this stuff out on your own,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
take the advice and you read all the things, and then you pick a direction and go. And,
Yeah.
just figuring all that out has been a challenge.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I mean, you can read all the books that you want, but if you're not taking any action or executing what the plan or what some
Right.
type of action, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
So now for you, you went into corporate America and then you decided to leap into owning your own business. Did you do any veteran programs, maybe some boost the business? Did you become a part of any type of veteran communities that help you launch a business, or what did that look like for you?
I did work a lot with the SBA, the Small
Okay.
Business Association, and I've got my woman-owned small business certification, my service-disabled veteran-owned small business certification. So those programs are really, really helpful. They help you fill out the forms. They help you kind of get through that process. There are also small groups that are under the SBA that are kind of in various cities that will help you. I think, I can't remember the names of those, but they have small offices that will further assist you with getting loans and things like that. For us, we didn't really seek a loan. We were going to try to bootstrap the whole thing. And so we've just used our own internal capital and a lot of our own sweat to try to make things work without having to take an investment. So I would mention though that when I did transition, I did take the military transition assistance program,
Hmm.
and that was very, very helpful. Just to just to help you figure out, how do you behave in the civilian world? How do you put your resume together? How do you
Yeah.
interview? Like, those are very, very critical programs. And I just recently learned that that program is not the same across all the services, or even where you're stationed at, which to me is a huge miss on
Yeah.
the military's part, because getting that right is just so critical for the transition of our veterans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like one of the last things you get in learning
Mhm.
lessons before you transition out because
Yeah.
um and I hear a lot of different stories. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people think it's too much information, some people think it's not enough. So it's definitely great to hear your how it went for you. So really good transition.
Mhm.
So now tell us more about your business, what exactly it is you do, who do you serve, and what makes your company maybe a little bit different than another company doing the same thing.
Right. So we're McLean Forrester. We are a technology firm, and we specialize in AI, data, modernization. So we build custom technology solutions for our clients. So let's say you want to start your journey in AI. We will help you put together a strategy, a roadmap, figure out, where do I start? Because that's a big question on people's minds, is I don't really know where to start. We can help you assess where you're at, and then help you build those solutions that will move your company forward, right? The whole point of doing something like that is so that you can be more efficient, so you can serve customers better, so you can increase revenue. So we want to focus on those outcomes and make sure that whatever we're building with you is going to achieve those outcomes, so that you get, that return on your investment. That's super important for us. So, the things that make us different, I think, is really that focus on serving the client and making sure that they're going to get value.
Hmm.
It's having the hands-on with from myself and our other executives for every project. So we're not just, we're not big, we're small. So we're going to be hands-on. We're going to be right there, making sure that you're getting everything you should be. And then our experience. So I've got the 11 years building these, massive enterprise solutions for Fortune 500 companies. My CTO and partner, Rose Knight, she comes from a very similar background, but she was recently a senior director at PayPal, running all their developer platforms. And my husband, who's our chief growth officer, has 40 years in the military, has ran like global networks, and he has all his data certifications. So I think like that there's magic in the capabilities and skills that the three of us bring to the table. And then add that to the magic of all the people that we're able to bring into our network to work for us. Because we've had all that experience, we've been able to, just really gain a good group of folks who are wanting to come work for McLean Forrester. So like that combination and how we're going to treat the client and how we're going to help you get to your objectives, I think that's our winning differentiator right there.
Got you. And you know what's so funny? I love to hear husband and wives working together as a team because me and my wife are total opposites, and we kind of see things a lot different. So it's definitely a testament to you guys' marriage and to be able to work
Yes,
together. Absolutely.
it's been very interesting, but also just wonderful because I'm not on this journey by myself either, right? So
True.
I'm on this journey with someone, and yeah, we probably talk about it all the time, but we're passionate about it, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and something we can do together. So
N- Now, one quick question on that: does he realize that you're the boss in and
yes.
outside of the house?
My husband is amazing, and he lets me be in charge because he knows that's where I need to be. And he is so good at what he does that I couldn't do it without him. So we complement each other very well, I think, in a lot of ways.
Got you. So I want to ask a follow-on question because we've never had an AI strategist on the show. So I want to know from you, where do you see AI in the next maybe 5 to 10 years as far
Oh,
as where it could possibly go? In your opinion, you would say, I would say.
yeah. I mean, I'm I kind of look forward to these things, but I also know that there are drawbacks when
Yeah.
technology advances, right? But the things that I get excited about are think of the medical impacts. Think of the new drugs and treatments we're going to be able to develop and things we're going to be able to cure. So the whole medical field to me is just amazing and exciting, and I can't wait to see that. But then think about, um, maybe people with disabilities who now have technology to help them live everyday lives, and do things that maybe they couldn't do before. Or even think about just a shopping experience, right? If your AI shopper gets to know you well enough, maybe you never have to make a trip to the grocery store,
Yeah.
and maybe things are, just life gets a lot easier for us. I definitely have concerns, about
Right.
data centers and the power of AI that we're going to see. And I think we have to be very careful as we move forward. But it's hard to it's really hard to fathom what the possibilities are in 5 to 10 years. But I do think this is an amazing time to be alive, an amazing time to be a part of it. And I'm just very grateful that I get to play a very small part in this huge adventure.
All right. Thank you. So now, for anyone that wants to learn more about your business, connect with you, where should they go?
I would start with our website, McLeanForrester.com. You can also check me out on LinkedIn. I post very often. I'm out there, so feel free to reach out. I think I can even give you my email. It's just heather.mclean@mcleanforrester.com, and happy to chat. We always say chats are free. We'd love to chat. It's always fun to just get on a call and talk to people and meet new people. Even if it doesn't lead anywhere, maybe there's a way we can help each other out.
Absolutely. So Heather, on the show, we like to ask all of the guests one last question before we wrap things up.
Okay.
We want to know from you, um, if if we have listeners out there listening or watching this video, what advice would you give them to make that leap of faith, like as you did, to come out of corporate America, or whether they come out of the military into being an entrepreneur and owning their own business? What's that piece of advice you would give that folks?
My piece of advice is just do it. Okay, you
Mm,
might not be able to do it right away, but decide this is what you're going to do, and then put a plan together. Have goals set, figure out what it takes. Talk to people who have done it. I'm happy to chat about that all day. So, but you've got to take the action. You've got to just decide to do it and decide that it's okay if I fail at this because we all fail at things. Not that you're going to fail, but like you've got to just kind of put that fear aside and take the risk and take that leap. But um, and if it takes you time to plan for that, then so be it. Put the plan in place.
absolutely. Yeah. You never know until you at least take the
Like,
leap of faith.
you never know. That's right.
Absolutely. Well, Heather, we're gonna wrap the show up for today. We want to thank you for coming on and joining us on the Vet SOS podcast. On behalf of the Vet SOS family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us as well. You can find the Vet SOS podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. We're also on YouTube, and we on all social media platforms as well. And when you go find us on those platforms, make sure you subscribe and follow the Vet SOS so you don't miss a great interview we did today with Miss Heather McLean.
Thank you.
Remember, our our phrase here is, remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the Vet SOS Lifeline.